Okay, well, good morning, everybody. My name is Sharon Huang, and I'm delighted to spend the time this morning to talk about an exciting new program. It's our uh, overnight sleepaway camp, an immersion camp. I'd like to introduce two individuals that are part of Hudson Way with me today. Nicole and Priyanka, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, of course. So hi, morning, everyone. My name is Nicole Liu. I'm the Missions Program Director in New York campus. I'm also the contact for recruiting international students, especially from China.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Priyanka, and I help with marketing at Hudson Way. I'll be the contact to reach out for if you have trouble with any web links or registrations, or if you need any detailed information or forms, I would be the person.
Great, thank you. So we're going to walk through this presentation, and I am recording it. The reason why we're doing this at 8 in the morning is, we have some folks that, we're trying to accommodate different time zones here. So, but we'll be doing also an on-site presentation later this month. So I'm going to walk through the presentation, and because it's a small enough group, feel free. We're going to make it really interactive, and I'll go as quickly through this if I know it's everyone's getting started with their day here. But I want to just paint the picture that we're very excited about this because this is something that we foresee. This is an introductory this year for 2 weeks, but we foresee this as being something we'd like to do every year, bringing together international students and our current older students to experience a real immersion setting here in the United States. So by way of introduction of this site, this is a 220-acre campsite in northern New Jersey. It's near Stokes Forest. We're looking at having children stay overnight. So we're looking at older students, 9 to 13. That's approximate. I mean, I think that there may be some 14-year-olds this year. So 8 or 9 is about the time frame children are feeling comfortable being away from home. We're doing primarily for international students. It's a 2-week camp, but we are giving the choice of 1 or 2 weeks, particularly this year because of the fact that some people may have already picked their summer camps for this year. So the idea of this is really for American students who are learning Mandarin or Spanish being connected with international students who are heritage speakers of Mandarin or Spanish. And the idea of the camp is really about the great outdoors. It's a typical camp experience, but it's put in a context where we are immersing students with teachers that will be conducting some of the content in the target language. So we're looking at personal growth, leadership, building of community. But the important thing really is connecting with students from other countries. Yes, they'll develop their language, but in 2 weeks, we're not necessarily saying that our goal is 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 solely language. I mean, we have our day school and longer periods of after school that continue through the year for that. But this is in a 2-week span, really reinvigorating and getting kids used to the idea of staying in the target language and using it to connect to other people.
Sharon,
This
I can't see your screen for some reason. Is everyone else able to see it?
Oh,
could you
okay.
reshare it maybe?
Yes, I will. Sorry, I did not realize that. Are you able to see it now? The schedule? Okay, here, let me stop the share. Okay, let me try that again. Sorry. Okay. Are you able to see this schedule? Here, let me go back to the other slide then. Let me try this other one. Are you able? This was the other. This was the first slide. Were you able to see this?
No, but now we see it.
You see it now. Okay. All right. So this is the schedule. You able to see this schedule?
Yes.
Okay. So this typical schedule is wake up and shower, breakfast. All the students would come together in a breakfast. So we would be having sort of two tracks. Let me admit, Cindy, we would be having two tracks, but they would be coming together for breakfast. We would be doing team building in for students that are on the Mandarin track in English, and we have our teachers, our Mandarin teachers, separately in a subgroup, and then for the Spanish students separately also. And then the next segment from 10 o'clock, nature discovery. This is in a beautiful setting. So there's pond ecology, tree identification. There is, ornithology, a lot of bird watching. So there's a lot of nature discovery, and that would be done in the language, in English for those coming internationally, and in the target language, Mandarin or Spanish, taught by Hudson Way teachers for those parts in Mandarin or in Spanish. Then we would have activities with our staff that are also discussing culture. And this could also be a project that takes the nature discovery portion and goes deeper into experimentation project. And our vision for this segment is that students would be working on these projects in the target language, so Mandarin or Spanish, presenting to the larger group, which will include heritage speakers, let's say students from China, and then they would be interacting. So, as we build out, between now and then, those projects will be defined. Then we would have lunch at tables, and we would organize the lunch with teachers sitting with our students so that we would maybe alternate. Maybe one day the lunch conversation is all in Spanish, and then the next day it is in English, and alternate and in Mandarin. Fungineering is a program that they have at the camp, and it is a STEM based. They do robotics. They do a lot of just building things with different recycled materials. So that and arts and crafts. Then free choice, we have a number of activities. They've got, and I'll be showing a little bit of a list shortly. You'll see some pictures of it, but things like zip lining, boating, swimming, kayaking, hiking, climbing walls. These are the typical camp activities, and they get two segments of this. So archery, for example, is another one, and that's a really popular one. So this way, children, we cycle which ones are available. Not everything will be available every day, but there might be a choice of 3 for each segment for children to come and mix with different students. Dinner is a family style dinner, and it's healthy, really good. All the food is cooked on premise, and I saw the dining hall. It's large, and we'll show a picture in a bit. But children can have all, there's no limit on what they, how much they eat. But obviously, looking to serve good, healthy meals. Evening activities, so these might be scavenger hunt, zip line, movie night. There's a nice little outdoor amphitheater that they do. We could even do movie night in different languages. And then there's a calming time where kids like to take showers, and as they're cycling through, and I'll show you the lodging, and we have a brochure that has more pictures so you can see even the shower facilities. But a lot of kids like to do the showers in the evening. So this is where they cycle through and the other students are playing board games, reading books. And then there's bunk time, and they're ready for bed at 10 o'clock. And what we're talking about is even doing reading in the language with the teachers there in the lodge. And I'll show you a picture of that. Students could even be read to a story, a chapter a day, a night, in Spanish or in Mandarin. Here are some of the pictures of the activities. As I mentioned, there's just a huge, tremendous number of them, and activities that can be done during the day, during the evening, and then also in inclement weather. There's other activities, but obviously we try and explore nature and get out as much as possible, even if it were to rain. So here's the lodging, and there's a picture of Sherry. She's the camp director, and if you come on site, we meet her, and she gives a great tour. These are the bunk beds. So there is a lodging facility for girls right next to boys, and then we would have our staff, male staff and female staff in those lodging facilities. On the right is the dining hall. Not all the tables are set up, but you can see one of the tables here. And then the kitchen is in the back there. Okay. Here's some more pictures. This is the great hall to the left. So in the evenings, we would come, and this is where you could do talent shows and other games and activities. This is an area here where you would have, let's say, an evening barbecue, and what you can't see is a field to the left of that. And then on the bottom right is an outdoor education area. So if we were going to do birding, we would go out and come in and talk about that. It's really a beautiful facility. I want to talk a bit about staffing. So Camp Linwood has their staff that would be there on site with their camp director. They have about 30, 40 staff members. They do extensive background screening and drug screening, and they do intensive training prior to starting the camp. We would be one of the first groups there at the beginning of the summer. So they will have completed all of this intensive training, and they facilitate the camp activities, the archery, zip line, etc., and the team building.
And a question. And the Camp Linwood staff, do they speak Spanish or Mandarin? Or
no, that's what I was going to say. So they are all English speakers. What Hudson Way is bringing is Hudson Way staff to facilitate the group. We're looking at a maximum of 40 students in our group. So Hudson Way is looking to bring at least two staff English, Mandarin, Spanish, to support our students. So it'd be about a ratio of 1 to 8 in addition to the Camp Linwood staff. And these are current teachers at Hudson Way, so they're trained in how we teach content in an immersion approach.
What do you think? What do you expect the split to be between international and American students?
Yeah, so what we're looking for in our ideal setting, and since it's the first year we'll be doing this, I don't know, but I'm hopeful that what we would have is 4 in each quadrant. 4 coming from Mandarin speaking countries, 10 coming from Mandarin speaking countries, 10 coming from Spanish speaking countries. So 20 international and 20 domestic students. So 10 students that have some exposure to Mandarin and are learning, or alumni, and then 10 that have gone through some sort of a Spanish program. So 20 international, 20 domestic. This is the camp pricing, and this includes the $1,750 includes all the lodging, the food, all the camp activities. We will do a bus pickup at specific locations in New York and New Jersey, picking up on the Sunday and bringing back on a Saturday if they're doing 1 week. And if they're doing the holdover for the weekend, there would be that additional cost. And then we are offering a 5% discount if you register, and then an additional 5% if you refer a friend who registers. Now, for those international students, we're also doing an optional excursion after the camp is over to visit some New York City highlights, college tours, and we're developing that pricing based on who is finally enrolled and their interest. And that would be open for U.S. students as well. We probably would be visiting places like maybe a baseball game or Broadway show, Central Park, giving kids an idea of New York City. And then a lot of them are just interested in getting an introduction to college because they're really thinking ahead. We have a full brochure on our website in multiple languages if you're interested. And there are more pictures there, yeah, a little bit more there. So our spaces that I mentioned are limited because there are only 10 for each of those quadrants. We're doing an on-site tour between 1 and 3 on Sunday, April 23rd. So it's about an hour away from near Stokes Forest, if some of you just joined us more recently. And so the first bit would be some introductions. We'll take a walking tour, which is about 45 minutes through C, and then some more Q&A. Our process is to, after this presentation, provide everybody with the application, and you would register by giving us a deposit. And then we do have, particularly for our international, online meetings where we want to get to meet the children, get a sense of language level for those that are coming from overseas, and teacher recommendations are part of this. Medical forms are important, of course, and then our final payment before the start. So I know that I went through this a little bit fast. For some of you who came in a little bit later, I'm happy to stay on and go over some of these pictures or answer any more questions.
A question. Have you considered, I guess, kind of an exchange program where like an international student would be hosted by one of the local ones for the middle weekend?
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a great idea. Yeah, I think that could be something I think that we could think about down the road for this first year. Because this is their first time here to the US, I prefer a little bit more of a controlled environment where I will be there and I will be able to just ensure their safety. But I think going forward, this whole idea of a host family is something that I think would be really interesting. And we are looking at programs for international students during the school year. And but what I think could be interesting is we could invite some of the families to come for a barbecue in that middle weekend, perhaps, and do something where parents and other students can get to meet the international students in a controlled setting at the camp. But I love that idea. Hi, Cindy. Welcome. Glad you're able to sign on. I saw you trying to get in a couple times. Okay.
This is Kashila.
Hi,
I joined a
Kashila.
little late.
Yeah, hi,
Hey, how
Kashila.
are
Nice to
you?
see you. Great. Or
Nice to
not
see
see
you.
you, but see
What?
your name.
I know. Sorry, I'm in the car. But the sleeping arrangements, are they co-ed or are they single? I missed the big.
Yeah, let me go back and share that picture. They are separate for boys and girls. There's like a housing that with two compartments, and there's a boys and a girls. So let me go back and for some reason okay. Here we go. Okay. Okay. Are you able to see this picture here on the left?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what the bunks right now, the mattresses are I guess they've just cleaned them and then aired them out, or maybe that's how they store them in the winter. I went and took these pictures in January or so. But they're really
And then
nice,
the shower.
right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
assume the showers are like a group shower, so they'll need like a shower caddy to take their stuff.
No, they're actually individual. They're a couple stalls, and this is why I was saying in the evening, they take turns. I was talking about the schedule here. See the snack showers here at the bottom between 8:15 and 9:30. So they take turns and they cycle through. Priyanka, the brochure has the picture of the shower, correct?
No, I don't.
No? Okay. We have that photo, which we can email out. There is yeah, we could send that out, and if you come, you can see it as well. But we can send that photo out. Any questions on the schedule? I know it's a lot of
I'm just
information.
so the Mandarin student and the Spanish students, like they both go on like the nature discovery. So the languages are both been spoken in the same area with each other.
No. What we would be doing is we would be envisioning two groups. So we would be keeping the 20 students that are we're going to have to see. Part of it's going to depend on the size of the groups that we have. Okay. So if we're able to get the 10 students who are domestic students learning Mandarin, domestic students learning Spanish, we would separate those 10 in each of those groups with our target language teachers. The international students that are wanting to Learn English would be with our English teachers. So they would be in separate groups, but they might come together for projects where we want the students to have a discussion and communicate with each other. And those we would alternate. We would do some of that, you'd have the two groups separate, the Mandarin and Spanish, but you would alternate between English and Chinese for those students, and then Spanish and English for the international students from Spain or Spanish speaking countries, and our students learning Spanish. Does that help?
Yeah, I mean, because I'm just my dilemma is I don't know which one to choose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm just like, yeah, that's my dilemma.
Yeah.
Because she's learning both.
Okay. Yeah. Now we want to try to keep the languages as separate and pure as possible. Yeah. But then giving the kids time to interact in each, because that's where the peer interaction is something that is we're really excited about, and the whole reason for this is bringing those international students
Yeah.
together.
That's what I was interested in, that the peer interaction, because usually on one-on-one they're speaking to adults in the lesson.
Right, 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 right. Any other questions? We have a recording that we did last week that has you can hear from the camp director Sherry a bit, where she's talking about her background. I mean, I'll share some of it with you. She has been a camp director for 36 years. She has lived and breathed this. She was telling us about her staff that she's brings on. It's a real international staff, and she was telling us some of the countries that she recruits, from Poland and African country, I forget which one, but really international group. So that's really exciting too, to be able to have, and that was a kind of a surprise, quite frankly. I didn't expect that. So I think it's going to be a really great uh, mix. There is another a larger facility that has 96 beds, and I think that there will be other students. It's not just our students, but we'll be a camp within a larger ongoing camp at that time. But we'll have staff dedicated to Hudson Way from her side. As I mentioned, she's got 30 or 40 staff members.
So to that end, or would the breakfast and the lunch and those larger, sort of outdoor activities be with the other kids in the other camp, or is that just?
No, it'll just be with ours. Right. We won't be in the same place at the same time. And our tables, our lunch and dinner tables, would be with our students. Thoughts? What do you all think? Feedback?
The one question I had, and I know it's probably, and I can't remember the age range again for all the students that you're thinking.
Yeah, so I was saying students ages 9 to 13. Sherry, who's the camp director, says sometimes she gets kids younger, like 7 or 8. Personally for my kids, they did their sleepaway starting at 9. And then so this 9 to 13 is a flexible somewhat. So we're looking to see the interest. We just didn't want to have it be such a broad group that we couldn't manage the same kinds of activities.
And you think it's for a first, because this would be obviously their first sleepaway experience. How do you feel thinking about that? Think it's conducive to sort of that?
Yeah, because these are going to be some students. I think that they're mostly going to be students that have some affiliation, have had some affiliation with Hudson Way and Hudson Way staff. And we're talking about a small group. So it's just like we're a small school, these kids are going to feel that they are in a camp setting that's similar to what they've experienced at Hudson Way, smaller, more intimate. And it's not such a long experience like some camps, you go away for several weeks. It's still local. And so it's not that far. And one thing we did talk about in the other meeting is we really discourage cell phone use. The policy is not to have kids bringing cell phones, because then they're focused on, we really want them to focus on what's going on at the camp, and not getting on social media or not being distracted and not dropping things like they're canoeing and they drop their phone and, then tip over trying to get it and things like that. I mean, Sherry's saying this based on her experience, and I support that. But if parents have a concern, they certainly can contact me, and we can arrange some sort of a call.
Are students who are doing 2 weeks take preference over the children who are doing 1 week?
Not necessarily. I mean, it's really going to be more, can we get the kids in those 4 quadrants? And so that's what we'll be looking to see. And so the application process is a little bit different than in the past. I mean, I think we're looking for people to apply, and then we would confirm acceptance after we've seen how that distribution is looking in terms of placement. But I would say to certainly apply as soon as possible. So because we don't want to wait too long to confirm all the placement.
Hi, this is Cindy. Just a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We were definitely thinking about signing up for the first week. Do you think that there will be an option, like if there's any available spots to possibly stay for the second week? We're just not sure if we want to do 2 full weeks. We definitely want to do 1, but I wasn't sure if there was going to be like a cutoff, or maybe if it's full. If it's not full, would there be like maybe like a notice, like that there would be an option to stay and just pay what the second week would be?
Yeah, I think that on that one, what I would say is we would just stay in touch and let you know when we're getting close to the point that we might be filling the second week. Just communicate out to you. Okay. Looks like we're needing to confirm. Yeah.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry I joined late. Just quick question. How many native Mandarin speakers are you expecting to join?
Yeah, we're hoping to have 10. So I was saying that what we want to have are 10 native Mandarin, 10 native Spanish, 10 domestic learning Mandarin, 10 domestic learning Spanish. So 40 students and about 6 or 7 staff from Hudson Way, along with all of the infrastructure and staff that they have at the camp, which is about 30 to 40 staff members.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And what any expectation of where you think the age ranges will be between that 9 and 13?
You know what? I think it may skew a little older. I'm not sure. It really is going to depend on what the interest is. I think we can accommodate the range. I know that Sherry at the camp says that they get 7 and 8-year-olds, and I know that there are some of our families that are interested with students that are 14. So I think it could be over that span.
Right. Okay, that's encouraging. The program is pretty small, because what my fear would be is like the native English speakers would hang out with the native English speakers, the native,
Oh, no. Our vision is really to make this an experience where our native English speakers are really getting that immersion. Now, if people ask me what is the percentage of time I expect, I mean, our goal would be about a 50-50 immersion. So it's not going to be like our school, a full or 80% immersive, because we're in a camp setting where we're attracting international students that want to do this, and many of those team building exercises are led by Camp Linwood staff that are English speakers. So those are reasons why some of that is going to be in English.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like on the trips when they go on the excursions,
Mhm.
partner them up with like English speakers and they can help each other. to
Well, yeah,
understand.
and then that's the idea, to have some of those, as many activities as we can where they're coupled, but it has to be structured. So we say, okay, at this time on this day, we're speaking in Mandarin or in Spanish, and on this day we're speaking in English, because otherwise they're going to gravitate probably to whichever language is stronger. And that's why, we're going to need to structure this.
And I'm guessing on the English speaking activities, will there be mixing between like the Mandarin track and the Spanish track kids?
Yes, we will be doing some of that, definitely, because it's 2 weeks. There are only 40 students. We want to have them get to know each other, but we also want a deep connection between those international students that have the Mandarin language with our domestic students trying to learn Mandarin, and the same on the Spanish side.
Yes.
So we'll be doing a mixture of both, but yes, we want to forge those deeper connections, and that comes about from the time spent. And for some of you that came in a little bit late, I wanted to just say that the overarching goal of this is really to have students experience kids from another culture, and specifically the culture of the language that they're trying to speak. Yes, they will learn language, but in 2 weeks, don't expect a child who's a novice mid to become, fluent. That may not happen. And I'll tell you, it will not happen. But what we're really looking for is just for them to get back into the practice of using the language and seeing it in a different context, and having fun too. This is, after all, camp in summer.
Right. Which countries are the international students coming from?
Well, we're looking at, on the Spanish side, we're connecting with schools in Spain, Honduras, Ecuador, Colombia, and on the Mandarin side, we're looking at China, Taiwan. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, is this the first year that the summer camp is being run, or?
Yes, this is the first year we're doing this, and we're looking to do this ongoing. So we're starting small with a 2-week camp, and then going forward, likely expanding that into July. July is probably going to be a time where we have an easier time recruiting international students, because a lot of schools in China go through June. But we're looking to try, because we're looking just at a small number here. We're hopeful to recruit those other students. We're working with the Chinese consulate as well.
Super.
Great. Well, I hope that you're able to come to the on-site tour. And for those of you who are on this, we're going to, the next step here would be to send you the registration, send you some other photos. I have photos of the shower facility. There was a question that came up here on that, and a few other pictures. Okay. Great. Well, thank you all so much for joining us on this call today, and look forward to continuing the conversation about this program.
Thank you, Sharon.
Okay, take care.
Thank
Great to
you.
see everybody.
Great, thanks.
Thanks. Bye.